Lord, touch us with these words, we pray. Please have a seat. So hands up if you were at the fete yesterday. Wasn't it wonderful? Absolutely, such a lovely atmosphere. The choir, the band, and the music, and everything, and the sunshine. We were so lucky with the weather. We were really, really blessed. It was a beautiful afternoon. It kind of took me back to some holidays I had as a kid, actually. My dad got posted to the south of France when I was 11. I was at boarding school most of the time, but I'd go back in the holidays. And we lived in a place called Draguignan, which isn't far from Saint-Tropez. So we used to quite often nip down to the coast. And an image that I can leave you with is my dad sitting in an inflatable dinghy with a fag in his mouth, constant fag in his mouth, as if he was the captain of the Titanic, just rowing around on the Mediterranean Sea. And me and my twin brother would snorkel everywhere and just look at these amazing little fishes. You can't see them just looking down, but you get underneath, you see these fishes everywhere. And it was just such a lovely, lovely time. Just beautiful memory. Very, very blessed to have had that time. And so swimming in the Mediterranean, living right next really to the Mediterranean, it makes it feel very, very close, very much like home. But the Mediterranean this year has brought up some different images for us. Rhodes and Crete, Tenerife, all on fire. Algeria on fire as well. Sicily, up to 48 degrees, I think it got in Sicily. Italy, heat waves. We have had something extraordinary this year. In previous years, when we've heard about climate crisis, it's been focused on sort of Africa, or it's been focused very much on Southeast Asia. This year it came home. It came home to the Mediterranean. And it was really frightening to see it. This week in Derna, they normally get, in September, 1.4 millimetres of rain for the whole of September. But this week, they had 400 millimetres of rain in 24 hours. It's no wonder that the walls gave way in the dams. It's been horrible to see, and it's very frightening. And what do we do with a feeling like that? 20,000 people estimated to have been swept away into that Mediterranean. And I do wonder whether some of them will wash up on the beaches I used to swim on. It's just getting closer and closer. And the thing is, we have been told, haven't we? We do kind of know the things that we need to do. Stop flying is probably one of the biggest. Reduce our beef and lamb. That's another one of the really big ones. And you know, sometimes I get a lot of grief from people. I do, because I say this stuff and people don't like it, so they come and give me a lot of grief about this stuff. And you know, one of the things that's said is like, well, actually, you know, so much of what you have to do for the climate crisis, it's all very unaffordable. Yeah, putting different heating in your house, that's really expensive. Solar panels, they cost. Electric cars, it's not easy. But choosing not to go on an aeroplane for your holiday, that's something everybody can afford to do. It will be cheaper, probably, not to go on a foreign holiday. Choosing to eat vegetables rather than beef, that's always going to be a cheaper choice. So some of these things are very achievable for every single person. And it's just so hard, some of it. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about it, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. We do need systemic change at the same time. We do need to change our systems, and that means that we have to do a bit of everything. We have to raise voices. It's not enough just to sit and do, I'm doing my little bit over here, I'm being all okay by me. We actually have to challenge the systems that are in place to make sure that everybody can do everything. So part of it will always be raising a voice as well as doing your own thing. You sometimes also hear, this occasionally, but it's very upsetting when you do, you sometimes hear people say, well, God's just going to burn the earth up anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just can't believe that they think that that's part of our Bible. I'd just like to kind of rephrase a little bit of what our gospel reading was today. In the beginning was Jesus. He was with God. He was God. Everything was made through Jesus. Nothing was made without him. In Jesus, there was life, the light of humankind. And that light shines in the darkness and will never be put out. That's not a Jesus that's going to burn the earth up. That's a Jesus that loves creation, that loves every single person and every single crawling insect of creation. That is not the actions of a beautiful, loving creator God to burn up the earth. The burning that we've seen, that's the actions of humanity, hell-bent, very often with the systemic problems that we have, hell-bent on greed and power. And that's what we need to raise our voices to. But God is calling us. Isaiah tells us you have a refuge for the poor, a shelter from the storm, and a shade from the heat. God is calling us to make better choices and be protected by him. The sovereign Lord will wipe away the tears from all faces. And there is so much that we can do to prevent that disaster that we've seen this year coming even closer. So we can stop flying, we can cut down our meat and our dairy. But you know what? It isn't easy. We were a gold household for Creation Care. We've slipped down to silver because we had 5 people in our household, and then Alina moved on to another family, so now we've got 4. Means we've got an empty bedroom. So we've slipped down a bit. We're going to do some more things. We're going to try to get back up to gold. But it really reminds me of that beautiful story of the cold coal. Do you know that one? Just in case anybody doesn't know it, there's this idea that when you're collected together, when you're in church, all the coals are burning brightly. They're just glowing with that energy, that love that you get of being together in church. You take a coal out and it goes black and looks very cold very quickly. I have to admit, I am totally that cold coal. Take me out of the community that I'm in, leave me alone for a few weeks somewhere else. I can go cold very quickly. But the moment you put that coal back, it will glow again in a second. It will just get the heat from all those other coals. I think the environment is like that. Some of these actions, they're really hard. It's really hard to keep going with it. It's very easy to slip back and become a cold coal. And I think it's something we need to do together. I think it's something we need to see what other people are doing and do a little bit of that together. Because when we do it together, we keep that fire burning for all of us. You can't have a fire with one coal. You need the lot. And one way that we can do it together is this scheme, which we've already started here, but this is the kind of we'd love to reignite this a little bit in our church. It's the Creation Care scheme. You sign up as a family and you do what you can. And you might not be able to do everything. That's absolutely fine. There was a bishop who helped launch this event, and she said, I'm silver because I don't own my own property and I can't put solar panels on it, and I can't do that for my house, so I can't get higher than a silver, but that's okay. She did everything that she can. And we can all do what we can. So I'd love to show you a couple of things that I think anybody could do, and if you started doing them, you'd probably get to bronze very, very quickly on the Creation Care scheme. So, would you like to put your hand up? Do you turn off electrical devices, like your TV and things like that, before you go to bed? Anybody do that? See, lots of people do. It's brilliant, isn't it? Did you used to do it 10 years ago? I didn't. Brilliant. I didn't, but I do now. Lots of people are doing these things. That's great. Who's got LED light bulbs in their house? Yes, you see, we're all doing this, but we need to see each other doing it. We need to bring that community, that fire together. Who buys recycled toilet paper? Is it called Who Gives a Crap? Yes. It's a great one to do. We get boxes of it delivered, and it looks very pretty in the bathroom as well. Who's turned their thermostat down to sort of 19 or 18? Yes. Oh, there's lots of people doing this. It's really great. These are all things that will actually save you money. They won't cost you anything. They'll save you a packet by doing them. So that's the great thing. That's, I think, the good news story, is that it doesn't have to be that hard, and it doesn't have to cost you money. Purchases, that's another one. I think there's a bunch of people that could get this already. So you just sign up so we can see it happening together. But purchases, who buys reconditioned or second-hand instead of new when they can? We try very hard to in our house. Brilliant. Lots of people. Who likes to give away things, for example, on the Onslow Village Facebook page or to a charity shop, instead of throwing them in the bin? Yes, we can all do that. It's so easy. Brilliant. Who tries to buy loose fruit and vegetables instead of buying the packet ones? If you can, try very hard with it. It's not easy. It's not easy, that one, but yes. Who tries to take a refillable cup or a refillable bottle with them when they're out and about? I always forget mine, so I'm going to put my hand about there. But yes, I try very hard. Brilliant. And gardens. Gardens are a great place. I'm sure that every person in this, if you've got a garden, you're probably doing this. Bird feeders, hands up. Bug hotel.
Bug hotel.
A bug hotel, like a little place for insects to be. Brilliant. A water butt. Who's got a water butt in their garden? Watering, brilliant. What about who doesn't use slug pellets or pesticides? Brilliant. Wow. Who's got a little hole, either accidental or designed, that hedgehogs could crawl under? Mine's very much accidental, but I'm not fixing it. Brilliant. We're doing so much already, but actually imagine if every person in this room went home, got onto here, and we were all doing this together, and we could see each other doing it. It's like another community. It's like a fire of warm coals, everybody doing it together. I think that's something we could really usefully do and see. So there is so much hope. There is so much danger. But there is so much hope, and I think that hope is in community as well. It's definitely time to do something. Tomorrow is now too late, but today is still okay. So, this summer it was the Mediterranean. My prayer is that next summer it won't be Surrey, but we can start all together to change this around. So please consider creation care. In the name of our beautiful Creator God, amen.